On August 15, 1977, it was a routine day at Ohio Wesleyan University, but on this very night, something was about to happen that would remain a mystery for humanity for years to come. The university's Big Ear telescope, a radio telescope with a 30-meter wide reflector, detected a massive radio signal at 10:16 p.m. This signal traveled through the telescope, reached the IBM 1130 computer, and was then automatically converted and printed on paper. At that late hour, the control room was completely silent except for the sound of the printer. The printed signal got buried among the other printouts, and at the time, no one realized that the Big Ear telescope had just received an alien signal coming from the Sagittarius constellation. A few days later, a control room technician collected all the printouts and dropped them off at the home of astronomer Jerry Emin, whose job was to analyze the signals received by the telescope. Most of the pages contained signals written in 1 south and 2 south, but on one particular page. Emin found a sequence of strange numbers and letters, 6EQUJ5. Seeing this unusual signal, Jerry Emin grabbed a red pen, highlighted it, and wrote WOW next to it. Since then, this has been known as the WOW signal. But what was so special about this signal? Why has it remained a mystery for astronomers for the past 47 years? And was this signal from the Sagittarius constellation really a message from aliens, or was it just a coincidence? Viewers, the importance of the WOW signal is linked to a study that was released approximately 18 years before this event. In 1959, Cornell University physicists Philip Morrison and Giuseppe Occoni released a paper in which they hypothesized that if there were an extraterrestrial civilization in the universe, they would use the 1,420 MHz frequency to contact us on Earth. The reason behind this is that this frequency is naturally emitted by hydrogen, and as we all know, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. This could serve as a common and easily understandable reference for any technologically advanced civilization. For this reason, the 1,420 MHz frequency was considered ideal for extraterrestrial communication. Following this study, in 1973, Ohio State University dedicated its radio telescope, Big Ear, to searching for intelligent signals from beyond Earth's atmosphere. This mission was named Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence SETI. At that time, this was the longest-running mission designed to search for life beyond Earth. The Big Ear radio telescope was located near the Perkins Observatory on the Ohio Wesleyan University campus. Its mission was to scan different parts of the sky and detect any intelligent signal coming from beyond Earth. To analyze the data collected by the Big Ear radio telescope, the help of astronomer Jerry Emin was sought, who volunteered to work on this project. On the night of August 15, 1977, at 10:16 p.m., the signal received by the telescope was so unique and powerful that Emin and his fellow scientists were left astonished. The telescope recorded this signal for a total of 72 seconds, which, after computer conversion, became 6EQUJ5. The numbers and letters in this signal do not represent a hidden message. Rather, they indicate the intensity and strength of the signal, the WOW. Signal consists of 6 characters, and each character or number represents a 12-second time interval. This means that for 12 seconds, the telescope detected the signal, recorded it in the computer, and then moved on to record the next 12 seconds. Since the WOW signal consists of 6 characters, each representing 12 seconds, it confirms that the signal lasted for a total of 72 seconds. It is important to mention that when the telescope receives no signal, it records a value of 0. The smallest detected signal is represented by 1, and as the numbers increase, it indicates that the intensity and strength of the signal are also increasing. Normally, the Big Ear telescope would receive signals with an intensity ranging between 1 to 3 or 4. However, the WOW signal started at 6, and any value greater than 10 gets converted into alphabetic letters. 10 corresponds to 10 to A, 11 to B, 12 to C, and so on in the WOW. Signal, the second part was converted into E, which corresponds to 14, meaning that in the second 12-second interval, the intensity of the signal reached 14. The third character Q corresponds to 26, and the highest intensity recorded in this signal was 30, which the computer converted into U in the final two segments. The values were J, 20, and 5, the most remarkable aspect of the WOW. Signal was that it was detected only on the 1420 MHz frequency channel, the same frequency that is naturally emitted by the hydrogen element. This is why astronomers and scientists believe that the signal was sent from space by a civilization as intelligent as humans. At this point, a question may arise in your mind. With so many asteroids, planets, galaxies, and clusters in the universe, could this signal have been randomly generated from somewhere? Then why is it being linked to aliens? The reason is that 1420 MHz is the frequency of the hydrogen line, which is emitted by the most common element in the universe. Scientists believe that if an alien civilization wanted to communicate, they would choose a universal and easily understandable frequency, one that any advanced species could recognize. Another reason is the strength pattern of the WOW signal. If its strength is plotted on a line chart, it appears very unique. The signal reached a peak intensity of 30 and then gradually faded away. Such signals can only be generated intentionally. A further reason for linking the WOW signal to aliens is that while cosmic events do produce signals, they do not follow this pattern, gradually increasing, peaking, and then gradually fading away, or do such signals appear only once. But the most intriguing factor pointing towards aliens is that the WOW signal was heard only once and never again. If this signal had been generated due to a natural event, it would have been heard multiple times, and most importantly, it would not have been limited to just the 1420 MHz frequency band. Now, let's move on to our second question: where exactly did this signal originate from in the sky? Determining the exact location from which the WOW signal originated is extremely difficult due to the design of the Big Ear telescope. The telescope had two separate structures known as feed horns, which were scanning different parts of the sky due to Earth's rotation. The WOW signal was detected by only one feed horn, but not the other. The way the data was processed makes it impossible to determine which feed horn picked up the signal. Because of this, there are two possible locations from which the signal could have originated. However, scientists cannot confirm exactly which one it was. The signal's location was in a specific area of the Sagittarius constellation near the globular cluster M55, close to Tau Sagittarii. This mystery remains unsolved because, while we know that the WOW signal came from the Sagittarius constellation, the exact coordinates have not yet been confirmed. There are multiple theories and hypotheses about what the WOW signal was and where it came from, but scientists have not reached a consensus on any single explanation. One possibility is that this was interstellar twinkling of a weak signal, similar to how stars twinkle. However, this signal was not detected by the Very Large Array VLA telescope, which is more sensitive than Big Ear. If the signal had been detected by Big Ear due to interstellar twinkling, then why was it not detected by the VLA? This theory was proven wrong. Another idea was that this signal was generated from Earth but was reflected back by an asteroid or space debris before being recorded by Big Ear. However, this theory was also later disproven because scientists stated that if the signal had originated from Earth, then by the time it reflected off space debris and returned, its strength would have significantly diminished and would not have reached a value of 30 U. Another issue is that the 1420 MHz frequency band is reserved for astronomy, and radios on Earth are not permitted to transmit signals at this frequency. For this reason, the possibility of the WOW signal being generated on Earth is unlikely. Jerry Emin and other astronomers attempted to detect the signal 50 more times, but it was never heard again. In 1987 and 1989, Robert Gray used the Oak Ridge Observatory's meta-array. In 1995, H. Polshuch used the Green Bank Observatory telescope. Then, in 1999, Gray and Simon Ellingson used the 26-meter telescope at the Mount Pleasant Radio Observatory. However, the result was always the same: complete silence. Was this signal an accident, or did aliens attempt to contact us and then stop? In 2017, Antonio Paris proposed that the signal might have originated from the hydrogen clouds of two comets, 266P and 335P. However, astronomers rejected this idea because the comets were not in the correct positions at the time, and hydrogen clouds do not emit radio signals at this frequency. Scientists also stated that if the signal had come from a comet, it should have been detected by both feed horns, but that did not happen. The WOUT signal remains a mystery, and scientists still do not have an answer. Was it a message from an alien civilization, or was it a natural cosmic event? The scientific community is still trying to understand the origin of this signal. Today, it has been nearly 47 years since the WOW signal was recorded, yet since that night on August 15, 1977, it has never been detected again by any telescope. We hope you will like and share this video from Mystery Hub. See you in the next amazing video.